y'all. I hope y'all had a wonderful weekend and wishing you an amazing week. It's Monday, so we're getting started early. Before y'all start the day, we figured we get it going. Um,
Absolutely.
that's right. So I'm just gonna get us going because I know everybody has to go to work this morning. I'm here with Wardell Borges with Borges Mortgage. He's a powerhouse in the mortgage space, the real estate investing space, and we are co-hosting a free, no charge, a free class on Wednesday from 6 to 7. And that class is going to be a master class where we're going to dive heavy into the new state of the real estate market in real estate investing. So the name of the class is the new real estate investment model 2025 and beyond. How you need to build multiple streams of income under one roof using creative loan products and modern investment strategies. So we're talking about investing, expanding your investment portfolio, just learning some smarter financial moves, some creative investment strategies. We're going to go over all that so that we keep you in the know, locked in with all the knowledge that you need to build wealth for your family, for your generations to come. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, Wardell, for those who don't know you, I don't know if there's too many people who don't know you, but for those who don't, just tell us a little bit about yourself. What drives your passion? What for helping people build their investment portfolio?
Sure, sure. Bourgeois Associates Mortgage has been around for over 25 years. We operate primarily for primary homes in Texas, Houston, as where our location is, but all over Texas, all over Louisiana, and all over Georgia. But for the purposes of what we're talking about today, we do investment and commercial loans all over the country.
Hmm.
And, many of my days are spent helping people to do what my wife and I already do. We own several $1 million in real estate ourselves, and we're already putting these things into practice. So it gives us great joy and gratification helping others do the same thing.
Right, right. And Marlo and yourself, I've seen some of your investment strategies, and you've helped several clients along the way. Kind of people that thought they couldn't invest find themselves in a place where they're owning property. So thank y'all for what you've done. What kind of inspires you to do this class that we're doing today?
Well, we're in some unusual times right now, right? And so whenever that happens, economy starts to go, down in a downward spiral, so to speak.
Hmm.
People tend to tense up and think that's when we don't do anything. But that's actually the time to get moving because if properties are sitting around, people don't have solutions. It's the people that are ready to go and ready to learn and try new strategies. These are the times where really things happen. In fact, one of my favorite trivia is during the Great Depression when it was the worst our economy's ever been. More millionaires were made during that time than any other time in history. So what
Hmm.
that tells you is when things are tough for some people, the ones who figure things out, they tend to do well.
Right. And I'm sure knowledge had a lot to do with that. Just having knowledge, information, having people that you can partner up with that kind of help you build that strategy.
Right.
So successful even when times are rough. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's why you have classes like this and why the people who want to be the sponge and learn, they
Mm-hmm.
get a different way of looking at things.
Right. That's right. So I know you mentioned and you touched on it just a little bit. What do you think, what is this new climate we're in 2025? What is new about this year and the upcoming years?
Well, I think now the traditional way of thinking about anything is out the window at
Mhm.
this point, right? And so what everybody needs to be thinking about is how can I maximize almost anything I'm doing? And the name of the game is getting multiple streams of income. You need to figure out how you can make money when you're not at a 9 to 5.
Right, right. And
Mhm.
so when you say multiple streams of income, what does that mean for some
Well,
people?
Well, yeah, let's take for instance, the traditional way of looking at things is maybe we might get a multi-family property. Well, that's multiple streams of income, right? If you got 2 units, right? And most people think very small. They think, okay, I'm going to get a 2 unit, but if you get a 2 unit, in a lot of cases, you can get a 4 unit. If you can get a 4 unit, you get a 50 unit, right? And so there's that. But then there's this other thing where you've got people converting warehouses to other types of things where they're able to bring in multiple streams of income and able to do more things under one roof. That's
Mhm.
what I mean by that.
Okay, I love that you brought that out. So thinking outside the box, warehouses, kiosks, restaurants, offices. So can you give us maybe an example of what kind of creative things can be done with maybe
Absolutely.
warehouses like that? Hmm.
Absolutely. Well, because we operate in multiple states, we get to see different vantage points on how to actually operate. There's one state that we're operating in where there is an entire section of town where there were old warehouses that have been converted to, as you say, kiosks. So you have non-traditional restaurants in there where you walk up to the counter, order something. That's in one corner of the warehouse. Another corner of the warehouse may be small office suites in there. You might have a coffee shop. You might have, then there's mixed use. So you may have residential under that roof too. So whoever owns that building, at some point, it was just a warehouse, just an open space that they went in and created all of those streams of income under one use. That is exciting to me.
Yeah, and nowadays you don't necessarily we see container restaurants. I've seen that. Um,
Yes.
almost like the little mobile trucks. Yeah, mobile trucks. Like I went to Austin one time and they just had all these little they had a whole park of it of these mobile kind of restaurants. So
Yeah.
now there's so many ways people are finding ways to make income without it being this big place that you necessarily need. So you talk a lot about innovative loan products.
That's right.
Whenever someone's talking to me about getting into an investment property, you're one of my first people that I connect them with, because I tell them
Appreciate that.
of creative things that you can do and innovative that nobody else is doing. So what does that look like in practice? Some of your innovative financing, creative financing.
Absolutely. So we're going to get into that really in detail on Wednesday. But just think about this. Traditionally, we think in terms of, and investors, they think 20 to 25% down across the board, right? Now there are products out there, particularly as far as I know, we're the only one in this region that has a 10% down payment investor loan product. So there's that. Then typically, there's a thing called seller concessions, right? So if you are doing a typical investment property, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, or just a typical commercial investment property, the max seller concessions is usually 2%, maybe 3%. I have a product that allows for up to 5%. You can't sleep on that because that's another 5%. So if you're already at 20, 25%, and closing costs are going to be 5% because insurances are through the roof right now, property taxes are high, then that's really 30%, 25, 30% that you're putting down. So that's an example of how you get to keep more money in your pocket. But get this, if you're an investor who actually has 25 to 30% to put into a product, then that's two properties you can buy now for that same amount of money because you're putting in only 10% and then the seller is able to do 5% towards your loan. No brainer. Now, you have to find a good realtor also who understands these concepts also to actually go out and find the properties. But this is, people give up too quick on things and then they just divert to what they know. Oh, I'm just going to get a duplex and that's where I am.
Right.
And nothing's wrong with that. But if
Hmm.
we're talking about really, really taking it to another level, which we all should, especially if we're talking the same money, we've got to consider other options.
That's right. That's right. And I'll just talk about how we got started with this. One of my clients called me, and this is why it's important for realtors, people in the real estate industry to constantly be on top of getting the knowledge, getting information, and collabing with people in the industry so that you learn. But one of my clients called me and she's like, what do you think about this loan product? And she goes to telling me about the 10% loan product and she's asking me my thoughts. And I said, well, I'm not even up on this. So that this is how we started this conversation. And I know you have innovative products, but I wasn't aware of this one. So now I have another tool in my tool belt that I can use. And I just talked to an investor client yesterday, and he's like, I didn't want to put the 25% down. I said, well, wait a minute. I know about something where you can do 10%. Um, so now I can pass that on to other people, and you guys have the knowledge as well, that you don't need the 25% that necessarily. You can get in there with less money. Just find the property, find the realtor, find the people, and everything else is going to come together. Um,
Absolutely.
so if you can share just one common mistake that new investors make when they come into this market and try and get properties when it comes to financing. Um,
I think it's back to just traditional thinking, right? And so now the investor is thinking, okay, this is what everybody I know does, and this is what I'm going to do. People throw around a word like my personal banker or things like that, really traditional, right? So to get out of that is to say, oh, I'm going to be open to another way of thinking, but even more broaden my thinking is a bigger thing, bigger way, a better way to say that. Because if we are open to hearing about different ways to look at things, and that goes for everybody at the table. Everybody needs to be open to looking at things another way. And that's probably the number one mistake that people make, just thinking too small, if you will.
thinking too small and giving up too soon.
Yes,
But
yes,
there's a way. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So people that come to the class, there's still time. We still have some spots available Wednesday from 6 to 7. But what do you think? What can they expect to walk away from after they finish this class?
Well, we're not talking about theory here, right? We're talking about an absolute blueprint to how to get it done.
Hmm.
That's the difference. And then I'm not just talking speculative here. I'm actually doing this myself. In fact, the very building where the class is has 6 streams of income.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're not talking to somebody who's just financing and he's not in this game. This is someone who is a seasoned. I know that him, his wife, they're seasoned investors, people that I absolutely look up to in this game, that not only have talking the talk, but they walked it. So you guys be sure to contact us to sign up. These are some wonderful people that you need to connect with. Um, and I want you to sign up by emailing me, melissa@nolahome.com. You can go to my page, Melissa_McClendon. Call us, DM us, Wardell or myself, and make sure that you're in this class. It's Wednesday, October 15th from 6 to 7. We're going to show you how to build your investment portfolio one property at a time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
DM quick because those
yeah,
spots really are going fast.
yeah.
And
Any
when we're done, we're done.
we I know we're getting pretty close. So you guys that you DM today. Any final thoughts of encouragement or final thoughts you want to share with us, Wardell?
Yeah, I really believe don't listen to the news that is so doom and gloom. There are plenty of opportunities right now out here, and now is a good time to get yourself positioned to really win. I mean, because when properties, there was at a time during COVID. Remember when there was 20 offers on every property, and it was truly that I don't know that I've seen more of a seller's market than that market in all of my years.
Hmm.
It's not like that right now.
Yeah,
Right now, sellers are looking for solutions also. Now is the time to get moving.
yeah, it's the time. Don't let any of this scare you. We look forward to seeing everybody on Wednesday. If you can't make it on Wednesday, just reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to share information with you.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Monday, wonderful week. And we look forward to seeing y'all and hearing from you soon.
All right. Good morning.